I am assuming direct control.
So if anybody knows what video game that line comes from, tell me in the comments below. Be interested to see how many fans there are out there. But anyway, welcome back to my new video. This is the second Jin Gitaxias video within recent times. But this is the older one. This is the 10 mana one printed in the old Phyrexian block back in the day. And it's 10 mana for a 5/4 flash, so it's very expensive. But at the beginning of your end step, draw 7 cards, and each opponent's maximum hand size is reduced by 7. Bear in mind, this card does not say you have infinite hand size, so be cautious of that. This deck is... Sorry, I got a bit of a sore throat now after doing that voice. This deck is a little bit of a mind control theme, hence the opening. So let's take a look at some of the cards we've put into the deck that would be on flavour here. So as you can see, there's quite a few cards that let you assume control of an opponent's creature. One of the interesting ones is Better Offer from the last Alchemy set that was released. It says X blue, put a random creature card with mana value X or less from target opponent's library onto the battlefield on your control, and it's a 1/1 forever. Oh, sorry, as base power and toughness XX and gains Wood 1, sorry, I do apologise. So this is interesting. You're going to steal a random dude, and it'll be an XX, so this scales really well as the game goes on later. So it's kind of cool, very unique ability. The artwork's really nice. You got Thieving Skydiver to steal artifacts. Entrancing Melody is nice to steal early mana dorks. Tempted by the Auric, this is a lot better in Commander, but it's a steal effect, so I've put it in here. For each opponent getting control of up to 1 target creature or planeswalker, CMC 3 or less. It's pretty decent. Mass Manipulation, obviously very salty card. Getting control of a lot of opponents' things. The Confiscation Coup is really nice because it uses energy to gain control of something, so it's a bit of synergy there with a few energy cards I've put into the deck that you may see, like Ether Hub and Glimmer of Genius, which is just a nice bit of bonus synergy. Mind Flare comes and steals something. Invoke the Wind, steal something else. And Cure Better Sea God Stage 3 steals something else as well. So I tried to make a pretty evil deck, to be honest. This is pretty salty to face in battle. Let's get back to the main body of the deck. So one thing that is noticeable is that power creep has definitely become a thing. And because this is 10 mana, this is kind of unplayable in most formats unless you can reanimate it using black. But because we're a mono blue deck, we're just going to have to go in hard with the mana rocks and ways to get mana. But yeah, it's a deceptive play tool because it feels powerful, but 10 mana, it's probably unlikely going to cast this every single game. So the rest of the deck has to pull a lot of the weight here. Some nice pieces of removal. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. Ethereal Grasp. I really like this because for 3 mana, you tap a creature and it perpetually gains. This creature doesn't untap unless they pay 8. So if you put this on an opponent's commander, and if their commander requires to attack, you've basically screwed them up for the whole game. It's kind of an unfair card because we don't have many ways to kill opponent's creatures. So unless they have their own way to sack their creature, they're going to be left with a tapped and useless card on the battlefield. So there's a few defensive cards like that, and to combine with the drawing 7, we've got a couple of mill cards just to make the most of the ability. So Teferi's Tutelage, whenever you draw, the opponent mills a card. Mills 2 cards. So if you draw 7, they're going to mill 14, and you've also got Psychic Corrosion. So these are a couple of alternate win cons to just help you get there. But yeah, and something else, not a single counter spell in the whole deck, just because that's the way I like to roll. But hey, if you do like what I've done with this list, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe, boost the channel up, get me some more views. Stay tuned afterwards for the post-game review. And don't forget, if you need to, if you want to make a donation, my Ko-fi account is in the description below. So let's get through some games then. Hope you enjoy them. Okay, so we go first against Tezzeret. Let's see how we do here. Decent starting hand. There'll be a artifact control build, I'm guessing. Unless they go for an aggro artifact build, which I've not seen anyone do yet. Brazen Borrow could be nice to bounce it back to the hand. We've got the Cosmos Elixir to guarantee us a bit more advantage early as well, early-ish. And the Planar Incision, sorry, to protect one of our things. So is it going to be an eggs type deck? Potentially. Oh, I really like Search for Scanter on turn 2, that's nice. Hopefully this finds us another island, because we only have one so far. Hermit. This is an interesting choice. Do I want to bounce this now? I think so, just because if they pay 1, they can make us lose our Brazen Borrower. And I don't want to lose the creature side of this. So if they counter the first side, it just goes to the graveyard rather than the adventure zone. So be careful of that. And I want them to tap out here. The Celestus, okay. Land is lovely on top. Just what we want to see. And hopefully we can resolve the Cosmos Elixir. So they can use the Moon Snare prototype to tap an artifact to get colourless. But the Celestus already taps for colour, any colour anyway, so they probably won't use that. That'll be an unusual bit of anti-synergy there. Here comes the Hermit again. They can counter any non-creature spell. Okay, powerful, but they're tapped out. Oh well, they can still use blue. Okay, that's fine. So perhaps we could Field of Ruin the Treasure Vault, because I don't want them getting lots of extra mana. And this also fills our graveyard +1 for the Search for a Scanter, which is nice. And if they do go for Tez, then we have a threat in the sky. I mean, the Hall of Storm Giants is another viable target there, because it can become a 7/7 with Ward 3. Kind of a nightmare to deal with. But they can't quite do that just yet. So here comes Tez. They could potentially make something 4/4.
I am more than human. You don't stand a chance.
Resolving a spell versus the Malevolent Hermit is going to be very annoying as well. I guess it's just a very good blue staple, so maybe I'm starting to see this in a different light now. Yeah, it really does actually hurt us, doesn't it? Because all of our non-feature spells cost 3 more, basically. Mind Flayer. I mean, that's kind of an answer, to be honest. Let's see if we can resolve it, though.
You can't halt progress.
Now, the Tapper is a son of a gun, because now we don't have the blue mana open to do this. Oh, Auto Tapper, why did you do that?
I need results. Keep working.
Draw 2, discard 2. And I said discard an artifact here. Potentially very powerful. Jin Gitaxias. Right. Okay then. Okay, this is bad. This is very bad. Definitely not what we wanted to see. But we'll try and work with it.
Savor your little victory.
Jin Gitaxias. Well, we're using Jin Gitaxias as well. Now, I think we've just won the game, guys. Because if they copy pack, they're going to have to pay 10 in their turn. Or they're saying that. Only one trigger goes in the stack because they only have one thing to counter, don't they? packed. Okay. Ooh, 2 key to the archives. Yikes. That's horrendous. Artifact, instant, or sorcery. So we can resolve a creature. Holy crap. This is terrifying now. 2 Skylar. 2 keys. They're going to get 2 of the best spells from those drafts that they pick. So it could be the extra turn spell. It's funny because they're using Tezzeret, but it's now a Jin Gitaxias deck. It's just been overridden by the power level of this. River's Rebuke. This is a card that I like. Okay, so we might have this actually. So swinging. Okay, so the first thing we do is we play a decoy spell. So... oh, actually, this can go one of 2 ways, right? We can either... we can flicker this guy to steal the Jin Gitaxias, or we could just bounce everything they control to the hand. I think this is better. So yeah, let's get this countered. Okay, so that would have been a nice... you know, there's 2 paths we could have taken here. Right, let's see what they've got. I'm not sure if that was the correct path. I mean, stealing the Jin would have been really epic, actually. But they don't know they can cast the Jin. Let's play a mana. So they play a land. Okay, so they can't cast the Jin, which is nice for us. We certainly slow them down. So they're setting up for the following turn. Doomblade. Okay, so they get their Hermit back. So yeah, they probably would have had... yeah, who knows. Okay, so we want to draw some cards, don't we? So let's get some cards into our hand. Nice. Oh, if only we had that out. Discard 3 cards. So I suppose we can go for 1, 2, and a Rep Ring. Right, let's see what they got then. So they're going to lose their... unless they can kill our Jin here, they're going to lose their entire hand on their end step. Having the Scholar is insane, considering that we also have the River's Rebuke in the graveyard. But we're at the whim of the opponent here. And using the Doomblade means that that's -1 Doomblade that they have. And of course this card was given to them via the key to the archive. Whelming Wave. So, okay. Sure. Annoying, but, you know. So now they're probably looking for... another good spell. They're getting some great spells from this key. So I could go for Jin Gitaxias, but I'm not sure if it's just better to go for the Hullbreaker Horror. Or maybe the Scholar. Let's go for the Scholar here. Bounce the stuff again. So yeah, just taking them off that mana is going to be really important here. Midnight Clock could be nice as well, just because it helps us reset our graveyard if we draw too much. And discarding. So maybe discarding the Contentious Plan, just because I don't think we're going to be that bothered about drawing more cards. We've got so many good cards in our hands. The annoying thing is, every time we bounce the key, we give in their hand like even better cards, potentially. But they can't cast them unless they have the colour to cast them, so... But yes, we're setting them back a hell of a lot. because they haven't played their 7th mana. And then now we're going to bounce us to the hand. Okay. So, how much mana do we have? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We could be mean and go for the Heartbreaker Horror. Which route do we want to take here? I think we go for the funky route, which is the Ominous Seas and Jin. Okay, down to 10. And now we're going to draw 7 and we're going to get more counters onto the Ominous Seas. So the Seas in itself is just going to become a mega threat here. Living the dream there. Discard 5 cards, so 1. Oh, okay. That's enough. Thank goodness for that one. That was getting quite difficult to worm away out of that one. Opponent goes first with the Monitors, and this is the one that lets you, your red instant and sorceries have lifelink, and if you cast a white instant or sorcery spell causing you to gain life, it deals 3 damage to target creature or player. So this with Lightning Helix is pretty mental. Hand is fairly good. Let's hope they've got some creatures. We've been facing a lot of non-creature decks in testing, which is driving me a bit nuts. Looks like it could be a white-red control deck. Yeah, definitely. No creatures here. They can go for the Fire Song next turn. So let's go for the Tireless Angler. 4 toughness though. Versus red. Could be juicy. Could stay alive. Right, let's get a free card that this guy fishing in the deep blue sea. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Pouncing Shore Shark. He's a human, so we can't mutate onto him. So I could just bounce him. Let's bounce him now. Or them, should I say. Inventor's Fair. Not really happy with that on top. And then we could even resculpt in their turn. So that would exile the dudes and give them a 4/4. They might concede though, but we'll see. Okay. So let's go for Key to the Archive here. I think tell you what, if we get Approach, not much they can do to stop that, can they? To be honest. And then bounce it to their hands. So if I was the opponent, I would be kind of annoyed right now, but you know, we're trying to stay alive here. Maze Mind Tome. And Outlaw's Merriment. Just heard a really weird noise outside, kind of spooked me. Oh boy, we could go for the Nadir Kraken. And let's go for the Approach now. So this is super weird. This is the kind of stuff you could never do in a paper format, because it shuffles cards into your deck that didn't begin the game inside. So now the opponent is probably frantically looking for a way to kill the Key to the Archive, because if they do, then we can't cast Approach. Swinging in for 1. So because they're white-red, I'm not sure how much interaction they're going to have. But I'll tell you this for a fact, if we go for the Jin Gitaxias, we can literally draw the Approach in the same turn we cast him. So it is a race against time. Saviour's going to be good. Well, we don't really use kill spells, do we? So maybe not so much. Invoke the winds. Okay, let's see what else we get here. This guy's epic, really is. 2 mana, 3 for the defender. I kind of like this. We could steal something. I think I would rather steal the commander though. So for now, let's go for the moat piranhas. And we could flash in the shore shark, couldn't we? Yeah, let's flash the guy in, see what we do. There's no reason to. There's no reason to show them this just yet. I'm just scared what they can do. They've got 8. How much mana? 6, 7, 8. So they can just cast a dude, but we'd rather steal it, wouldn't we? They are looking so hard for artifact removal right now. The Immortal Sun. Okay. We can steal that with the Invoke. That's kind of delicious. Here comes the swing. Mutate the piranha. So now it's a piranha shark. Do they have removal for the piranha? They could do. And we shall bounce the 3-2. So we could try and block the 2-3. Let's see if this works. Decent. River's Rebuke. Well, I think that's pretty much game over then, isn't it, for them? Or do we take the Immortal Sun first? Nah, you know what? Let's not be greedy here. Let's just do this. This buys us enough time. But yeah, knowingly the shark is a defender because of the guy underneath him. You can view the mutations by clicking this, by the way, kind of helpful. And as expected, they played that card. So yeah, let's get a dude, steal the Immortal Sun. So it is not looking good for our opponent. I do feel bad because obviously, you know, if someone's got an approach, especially in a mono blue deck, it's pretty rough. Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, let's just pay 1 here, get another dude. Oh, and a Chaos one as well. Oh, go on then, let's pay a bit more. So, unless they find a way to kill our key to the archive, I think we will be good. Let's go for Chaos Wands. And the Pirate's Prize to draw. Yeah, and let's just pay to make this guy really big. So they're going to need something good here. Not sure what they could have in red-white. I'd be surprised if there was an answer to all these things. Because now even destroying the key doesn't help. Because we've got lethal on board as well. Tome, yeah, I think it's futile at this point, unfortunately, Mr. Phaeamius. They could block, but they'd still take 10 damage. Yeah, and that was just too much pressure there. Opponent goes first with Tolsimir, Friend to Wolves. And our starting hand is... It's actually not too bad. We've got the ramp. Some really powerful spells. I'm going to keep this. If you've not seen the artwork, it looks like Tellurian Community College. It looks like the professor, doesn't it? Really cool artwork. The detail that went into that piece is shocking compared to how much is actually used. I always find that quite sad, to be honest. Sometimes fantastic art goes into cards that no one uses. But it's the way it is, right? You can't use every card. So we've got actually a really great starting hand here. Tempted by the Auric, Bond of Insight, Thraben Watcher. Gives other things vigilance. Really, I mean, again, really cool artwork. 3, 4. So they go. If they play a Forest, they can go for the Tolsimir. What do we do? Maybe just go for the Maze Mind Tome for now. We'll take it slow. This is only a 2-2. So, we can afford to take a bit of damage from this. And I left the 2 mana up to use the Maze Mind Tome. Here comes the Shalai. Shalai is problematic. But I think I'm going to draw here first. Okay, so Shalai we probably want to get rid of, don't we? So it depends what we want to get rid of her with. I think Frogify is an acceptable card. Turns off all the hexproof and stuff. And let's go for the Cold Steel Heart. I wish they'd play a creature that was 3 or less mana, please. Come on now, stop being cheeky with the old 4 mana creatures. Ronus' Monument, so even with this they still can't cast Tolsimir because it doesn't actually give them a hard green mana. Sitting on the wall. And scry into a land. It is a land. Jolly good. So we could be a dick and bounce the Arcane Signet. That is kind of mean, isn't it? I think I'm going to do that though. So it means they still can't go for the Tolsimir the following turn. Oh, an Ethereal Grasp taps something down. You know what? Let's tap the Angel down. So we definitely have stabilised quite well here. And the Bond of Insight is just pure madness. Yeah, this card would just give us all of our utility spells back. And that was clearly too much to behold. Makes sense. Okay, so they're using Zalortha Strength Incarnate. I've never... Well, I don't remember facing this guy before, but... So, lethal damage dealt to creatures you control is determined by their power. So this is kind of the opposite of Doran the Siege Tower. Kind of cool. So this is basically a 5 mana 7/7 in combat. Okay. Very interesting. I actually forget that these artworks are on Arena sometimes, so it's a bit jarring to see like contemporary, modern scenery. And yeah, I think I'm going to draw a card here. No proliferation target, but just to cycle some cards is decent. No idea what kind of deck this is going to be. High powered, low toughness, I presume. Start off with the Celestus, gives us +1 mana, which is always really useful. The fact they haven't played a single creature yet is a bit worrying. Mainly because... Okay, so it's the dinosaurs. When it's dealt damage, proliferate. Ooh, that's good in the Planeswalker build, isn't it? So let's go for the key to the archive here. And it gives us... Ooh, D-Tutor. Fantastic. Demonic Tutor. One of the strongest cards in the entire game. Not just the format, the game. So first things first, let's make it a frog, or whatever this thing is. Some kind of tiny baby creature thing. And yeah, let's Demonic Tutor. We can get any card here. What's the best card in the deck? I don't really know. There's so many powerful ones. I suppose we could go for Heartbreaker Horror. It's going to be tough for them to deal with it. And the Illuminator could be cool as well. So if we exile Dismissal, that means we can cast instants off the top of our deck. Not sure how they're going to deal with our Jin Gitaxias. I mean, they could have any number of burn spells and or fight effects, so it might not be too hard because Jin's only a 4 toughness dude. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, the banner's going to be tough to beat because if they go for dinosaurs, they draw. Every time I play dinosaur, they draw a card. What happens if we block here? I guess it means they can recast Silauthor. Or they shock our Cemetery Illuminator with... Yeah. So they can recast Godzilla, which is fine. So let's go to them. And this isn't a very good mill matchup, so I'm going to get rid of the tutelage here. They don't know we have the Heartbreaker Horror, so... see what they do. Sun-Crowned Hunters. Okay. Draw a card. And it says, whenever it's dealt damage, 3 damage to opponent or planeswalker. Interesting. So we'll go for the Horror. And happy to exile the Hunters. And then we get to bounce the banner to the hand. That's a humongous swing there. And then swing in. So obviously we had to swing afterwards, otherwise we would have taken 3. But also let's activate the Celestus just because I'm not happy with an island in our hand. I'd rather have a better spell. But fair enough, give us another island. And I won't play it either just because I want to be able to discard stuff with the Celestus. However, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We could play it next turn in order to cast Jin Gitaxias. It will draw a 7, but unless they can kill the Heartbreaker Horror, I don't know what they can do to win here. The 8 toughness on this guy is an absolute beast of toughness. Yeah, that's just way too much, isn't it? Way too much. Hi guys, welcome back to the post-game report. So what do I think about this deck? Well, firstly, its mana cost is just absurd, and I don't think it's very viable to run like competitively, to be honest. I think it's just way too slow. Its effect is incredibly powerful, but unless you can make him cost a lot cheaper, it's just not happening, I don't think. Yeah, in testing it proved to be very difficult to get him out. I died before I could cast him in a lot of the games. But, you know, essentially, if you can get him out, you're basically going to win the game. So if you're into that kind of huge swingy playing magic spells, it could be fun. I actually enjoyed playing the rest of the deck though. The control cards, gaining control of stuff was really, just felt really good because it's more than just a kill spell, right? If you gain control of something, you're +1 and then they're -1, so that swing is huge. It's almost like when they describe the lifelink swing. So if you've got a 2/2 lifelinker and you're swinging in, they're at -2 and you're now at +2, so that's a difference of 4. So you could say the same about, you know, cards like this. You gain something, they lose something, but it feels stronger than the sum of its parts, right? Because you're removing the threat, but you're gaining one. So one card to do that feels really good. That's why mass manipulation is just so crazy if you can get this off. And obviously in something like a Hinata deck, this is a lot better. But I didn't use it in the Hinata deck because of the 4 blue pips, which is just ridiculous to cast in a 3 color deck. I would I would only recommend this deck if you were really into Jin Gitaxias or just a bit of fun. Despite it being a Praetor, it isn't. I don't think it's as scary as people think in my shells. I'm sure there are people out there who just use this in a counter spell deck, and obviously if you just control your opponent out, don't let them cast any spells, then this is obviously going to be a really good win con for you. But you know, I'm trying to make the deck a bit more interesting than usual, different themes, different ideas. And yeah, don't forget, if you do like the deck, the link below will have the deck list in it. And join me next time for another Praetor video. And see you then. Bye. If you enjoyed watching this video, why not try some of my other videos on my channel? And don't forget to support me by hitting the like and subscribe button for more content like this.